All right, family. Black Power, Black Power. We black again with the general, man. We got some fire today. Before we get started, make sure you get over there to Patreon, support the general. We got over 600 exclusive live streams for your family dealing with our culture, politics, history. You need this in your life, family. Believe it or not. We talking about again. I'm so glad that Carmelo Anthony filed for an appeal. I was already saying, if it come down to that they should be down there immediately, and they did that, and so but the next step is, man, getting some dog bloodhound lawyers, bloodhound private investigators that's gonna go out there and get that work. You know what I'm saying? And build this case against this boy, and because it has to be shown that we're not dealing with no Boy Scout. We're not dealing with the choir boy. We're not dealing. We got to paint so people can understand that from and I believe that he's a bully. You know what I'm saying? Which means you've been bullying motherfuckers, and people are scared because they bullying their mamas and daddies. You see what I'm saying? And shit, whole goddamn community scared. That's how they do. They call them, when you talk about the Klan and all of that, man, that's what they rule by fear. You understand? Calling the phone and shit. And, I'm hearing what the shit they was doing, man. They're scandalous to get them fired out their jobs and shit, showing up to their jobs and shit with all that bullshit, trying to terrorize the family. So this is what you're dealing with. You talking about law. You talking about law. And these motherfuckers using all type of tactics they've been doing since the Klan. They still operating just like the Klan. And people is talking about the law. I heard the one motherfucker on Fox. He was saying he would have been glad if they gave him the chair. I heard it right out of his motherfucking mouth. He said he would have been glad if they he was surprised they didn't give him the chair. He would have been happy. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. This is what you're dealing with. This is exactly what you're dealing with. So you got to man up on this shit. Y'all got to quit faking the motherfucking funk out there. Like y'all dealing with some civilized being. These motherfuckers ain't no civilized being. Yeah. Yeah, you got to support his appeal. You got to. You understand what I'm saying? But not just support it with and financially, but you got to win this motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? You got to go in there with some bloodhound lawyers. You see what I'm saying? You got to go in there with some bloodhound lawyers. And what and really, I'm telling you this so you can, they need to be they need the private investigators on this shit immediately. Whatever lawyers and even before that, they need some private and dog ass private investigators that gonna go out there and build that motherfucking file on their ass. Yeah, you got to have some black lawyers, most definitely, but you got to have some dogs. You got to have some motherfuckers that's ready to take off the gloves and not scared, because they're gonna be trying to scare you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be trying to put fear. Call your house. Find your number. If you got a wife, you call your wife's house and shit. You know what I'm saying? Call her job. Call the schools and shit. They're going to try all type of goddamn tactics and shit. You know what I'm saying? To try to, and that's where you got to, because, you got to stand your motherfucking ground. Motherfucker, bring it on, motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? I remember watching Malcolm X, and they was trying to set his house on fire, and he said he come out with that motherfucking pistol, and he was busting, and he said, "I'm a man," and bow, bow. You know what I'm saying? You just got to prepare for that shit and get in the fight, man. Because if they coming for your motherfucking ass, they coming. So ain't no time to turn tail, motherfucker. It's time to put 10 toes down, motherfucker, and lock and load. And that's what it is. But the fight should start immediately. And I know that's what it is. The fight should start immediately. You see, getting the picture out there of who he truly is, so the public can see You can't wait. You understand what I'm saying? You got to get on that. Who is Austin Metcalf? And get the documents and start, you got to do that because that's what they did to Carmelo Anthony. They demonized him in the public. They demonized him in the public to the point, you know what I'm saying, that, most white people down there, they knew, told the line. You understand what I'm saying? We not buying that shit. You see what I'm saying? We not buying that shit. You feel me? We can't have niggas on, and that's just like a nigga that's rebelling on the plantation. Nigga, you got to make an example out of that nigga. You see what I'm saying? You kill one of the master workers or something and shit or this, that, and the third. We got to make an example out of you. Ain't shit changed. We can't let them believe that they could start killing us, even if we wrong. Even if we wrong, we don't want them to think that they could start doing whatever the fuck they want to do. You see? And that's just what it is. But I hope, because just like I said about the people, get private investigators. Get private investigators. Build a file on Austin Metcalf and show the people who he is. Get the receipts. Don't come in. We want the receipts. We want, official receipts, and they have them. Get them receipts and start to paint the real picture on who he is, who his pappy is, who his mammy is, who his old fake ass brother is. Get all anybody connected to them. You see what I'm saying? It's some elements about their ass. It's some white nationalist shit going on there. We need private investigators on that fucking job. You see, you might have to get more than one. You see, you might have to get more than one. You might have to get 2, 3 of them motherfuckers. You feel me? The seasoned private investigators that's gonna go out there and get that information and start painting the picture in front of once the public get to seeing them facts, they're gonna be like, you done broke some more motherfuckers up. You didn't put your hands on some more motherfuckers. I heard there's some sexual deviance. I don't know if it was with the daddy or whoever it was. Yeah, some shit going on there with them. And so you got to paint the picture, bring that shit out. They always look, and Carmelo Anthony didn't have nothing on him because if they did, they would have put it out there. This is his first, his first situation. The boy was a 3.56. What was it? 3.7. The boy had a 3.7. This boy was, on his way. He wasn't no nigga out here he was on his way. So you mean to tell me from this one incident that turned his whole life around, he ain't did nothing. And I heard that he saved somebody from drowning. Nobody even talk about that. He saved somebody from drowning. Dived in the water and saved. I don't know who it was. Was it a young boy? Was it a man? I don't know. But I know he had saved somebody from drowning. And so nobody knows about that. Why haven't they, it should have been, this is, you had to run ads. You see what I'm saying? Shit, just like they have fucking for public office and shit. You got to get some shit up there on both. This is the real Carmelo Anthony. This boy was 3 points that never had no problem. And he went to church. You know what I'm saying? Went to church abiding boy. You understand? Believed in God, and he had little siblings that he took care of. Ain't never been in trouble for nothing. Why isn't that? And it's like they didn't care. But then you got to flip the script and show who really was out of control. This motherfucker out of control. He done broke his daddy arm. This motherfucker done broke his daddy up. This is facts. You see what I'm saying? Broke his daddy up. Say the other brother, both of them, they tag team bullies. You see what I'm saying? I seen them with the AKs. And they had some crazy patches on too. Yeah, so I mean now let's find them patches. Let's find these associations. Who are they associated with, man? You know? Yeah. But they ain't had, but the white boy not gonna fight like that, Edward. He ain't gonna fight like that. He's not gonna fight like that. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got to get family to go in. Because family been traumatized. Family know where to go. You see, but even then, you got to help coach them motherfuckers along the way. You see, that's just like when you go to the doctor. You can't let a motherfucker tell you what's wrong. You got to know some shit about, it fuck them up. You know what I'm saying? Even when you go, and if you got to get your car fixed and shit, you got to know some shit about what's going wrong already. So they know that you know some shit. So they can't just say any motherfucking thing to you. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, what about this? What about this? What about him breaking his father's arm? What about all this shit? Why wasn't this brought up? Well, fuck it, I want it in there. You see what I'm saying? You got to start painting a picture and putting some videos out there. Believe me when I tell you. Put some information out there. This boy was appealed because they thought that this boy was a good old church boy, and they found out that he's a big bully. He done this. He done. Put his file out there, man. Put his file out there to show, And again, like I said, when you petrified of a motherfucker, once you understand that, like I said, I ain't about to be fighting with you, nigga. I mean, Neanderthal, I'm not about to be fighting with you. You see what I'm saying? You already broke your daddy up. You gotta you a psychotic. You need medicine. You need medicine, man. You need medicine, man. You was a psychopath. You see what I'm saying? So I'm 140 pounds. I'm only gonna tell you one time because I already know what you did to people. So if you've been breaking up arms and shit, and man, look here, man, go somewhere before you die. Straight up, man. That's real talk. You done been breaking people's up. You've been hurting people. You understand what I'm saying? And if you break your daddy arm, motherfucker, you don't give a fuck about me. I'm not taking no breaks. I'm not taking no breaks. Ain't nobody fucking socking me or nothing, man. Because like I say, some of these motherfuckers are psychotic. They been to beat you to death. You understand what I'm saying? They been to beat you to death. You got some psychopathic motherfucker, they'll beat you to death. You see what I'm saying? So just saying, I got hands, motherfucker, listen here, man. That's bullshit. Understand, you got to know when you can beat a motherfucker. That's a part of being victorious. You see what I'm saying? Look, bro, I ain't even trying to have these problems with you. You see what I'm saying? But what I want you to understand is, go on about your business. I can't fuck with you. You a big bully. You 210 pounds. I ain't nothing I could do. You know jujitsu. The motherfucker know jujitsu. You know what I'm saying? People know that. Both of them supposed to know jujitsu. So not only is you a bully, you taking the shit that you didn't learn and you breaking your daddy bones and shit. You done broke your daddy arm. Oh, you one of them kind of motherfuckers. You ain't in you supposed to, when we went to, take karate, it was because you were trying to, as spiritual, to control yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't attack, you don't use the art form to, beat motherfuckers up and bully motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? It was for what is the term I'm looking for? It'll come to me. You see what I'm saying? It'll come to me. But anyway, it's for you to manage your motherfucking anger and shit and all of that. It ain't for you to be out here whooping motherfuckers with it. You see what I'm saying? Self-control. That's what I was looking for. Self-control. It's for self-control. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's about. And so hopefully that's what they do. Get the private investigator, get you some dog ass lawyers that's gonna go in there and take the gloves off, show his, because they didn't terrorize this boy's family. You got to show not only who he is, who his family is. You got to take the gloves. You got to get the private investigators and bring facts, bring the receipts. Bring the receipts. Discipline. That's another one. That's right, Edward. Self-discipline. That's the one. That's the word I was looking for. You know, that's the word I was looking for. Bring the receipts, and man, he can win this. I know it. We'll be victorious. We just didn't have no dog lawyer, and you didn't have no private investigators to put that motherfucking shit out. You understand what I'm saying? You got to offer motherfucker. You have to move some motherfuckers around. If they go, look, I'm gonna put you somewhere. I know you're nervous and shit, but this is right here is for, because they're gonna get you anyway. If you don't do what's the right thing for this boy and for yourself, because they know you. And if they know you holding that information, they'll wait, but they'll come get your motherfucking ass anyway. So you might as well go on and put a dagger in their ass before they put one in you. So if you got any information, hold it. Don't say shit, because somebody gonna be coming. Somebody gonna be coming to get that goddamn information. You feel what I'm saying? So keep it real out there, family. And the fight is just begun. It ain't over with. Believe it. Believe it. When I know when some motherfuckers is done for, this boy still got a chance. He got a real chance to get up off of this shit. You hear what I'm saying? He got a real chance to get up off it, and it's gonna break their motherfucking back, because they know they were some nasty racists from the very fucking beginning, to stack that goddamn MAGA jury on that boy, and don't have no, they not, when I tell you this, started raining. Okay. Okay. They're not your peers. I seen a black woman sitting up there, and then they say, your peers, motherfucker, black people ain't never been the peers of white people, motherfucker. If that's the case, we wouldn't be fighting for every motherfucking law. You understand? You understand? How in the fuck is we peers? Man, is you crazy? Talking about we peers. Ain't no motherfucking way black people's is peers with white people in the motherfucking United States or anywhere in the European sphere of control. You see what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here. That don't even make no sense. How dumb can you be? Anyway, family, and that don't mean we know we the gods. I ain't saying that like we know, but motherfucker, we know what time it is. You understand what I'm saying? Believe it. Hit that Patreon, family, support the general, you know that. And I'll be right back. Boom. Black power.